Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at the airport.
Scott, hang on a second. Tony Stark is gonna die in Avengers Endgame, and I'm gonna prove it right now on Fan Theories.
Welcome to Fan Theories on GameSpot Universe, the new show where we break down the best and craziest fan theories on the internet, and we want to include yours too, so get in the comments and leave us your favorite theories about your favorite movies, TV shows, whatever you want. So here we are. We're talking about Avengers today.
Yes, today's a sad one. Ryan's going to share his favorite theory with us today from Avengers Endgame. It's also a very, sad theory.
Why is this his favorite?
I don't know.
Where is Ryan?
Apparently he's somewhere out in space.
Ryan?
Hey guys, just hanging out over here on Titan. It's pretty damn quiet over here. Anyways, I think Tony Stark is gonna die in Avengers Endgame, and here's why. Avengers Endgame is the end of Phase 3, and what better way than to enter a new phase than by saying goodbye to the MCU's first superhero.
When I drift off,
Tony, I won't let you die alone. I'm here for you. It's actually pretty nice in here. This is a nice spaceship you got. Robert Downey Jr. has been talking about hanging up the helmet for good for quite some time, and as big as those MCU paychecks are, it's been over a decade. Tony Stark is nowhere to be seen in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. We've looked everywhere. All we see is Happy Hogan and Nick Fury. It looks like Spider-Man has a new mentor. Back to those big MCU paychecks, what if there was a way for Robert Downey Jr. to still keep cashing them? That's right, Tony Stark becomes the voice and brains of the new Jarvis. Specifically, he lives on forever in Peter Parker's new suit.
It's a comic book movie.
You're a comic book movie, Gregory!
That was uncalled for. Come on.
Guys, are we okay here? Let me see if I can get in this damn chair.
Tony
we okay
Stark
here?
is gonna die?
I'm sorry, it has to happen. We're entering a new phase of the MCU.
I hate change.
This is the right move for the MCU.
Yeah, alright.
He's been there for 10 years.
Okay,
He is, the character that started this whole thing.
that's true.
So it makes sense for Tony Stark
Yes.
to be the one to kind of push it forward to the next phase. What do you guys think?
You know what? You're right. I mean, he started it all. It should probably all
End with
end
him.
with Tony
Yeah.
in this phase or in this period of the MCU, as they say. Kevin Feige said that there were two periods of the MCU. One's everything before Endgame, and everything after Endgame is the next one. So it makes sense that we're going to lose a member of the old guard, and why not the original Avenger himself?
Oh man, I get in the pit of my stomach right now that I feel like that's the case right now too. That we're gonna see, changing of the guard here for someone like a Tom Holland, a Spider-Man, something like that in the future who leads it. Are we gonna get another Iron Man? Is that it though?
We could get a different iteration of Iron Man. Like, we could get Riri, we could get someone, I don't know.
I suspect we have to.
Yeah.
There's gonna have to be some kind of new Cap, new Iron Man in the future. Whether it's new characters though, not on board on that yet.
That is a really good point, because I think that Iron Man initially wasn't thought of as like an A-tier comic book character.
Right.
And to
It was
kind of
almost a risky move.
exactly.
Yeah.
And now to see what happened off of that, it's been pretty incredible. Like, quite a run.
I think a lot of people have placed their trust in Marvel Studios at this point, and they'll just watch anything that they turn out.
Yeah.
And they're not just going to just crap out a bunch of heroes. They're gonna put some thought into it. They're gonna make it as good as they possibly can. So I'm sold. I will be in the theater every single year, no matter what.
If they can make us care about Iron Man, they can make us care about any character.
Hey, no,
in their vast library of characters.
Guardians of the Galaxy. All right.
Yes.
If they got that to work. That's
Yeah.
all that matters right now. They can do anything.
Yeah. What's next for the MCU?
So the upcoming confirmed movies, we have obviously Spider-Man Far From Home, Black Widow's solo movie, we have Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, The Eternals. What else we have? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3,
Maybe.
maybe.
Not happening. But we'll save
Maybe.
that for another theory.
Shelved.
Yeah, that's that.
That's not happening, guys.
That
No,
But that was supposed
we
to
can
be
move on.
that was supposed to be in Phase 4, correct?
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
So there's and then the eventual like X-Men Fantastic Four.
Would like that. Would love that. Yeah.
So, it's kind of time for, someone like Iron Man who's been there since the very beginning to take a seat.
Also, Robert Downey Jr.'s contract is ending with Endgame, so they would have to do a lot of renegotiating to get him back on board, right?
Not much when it just involves money when it comes to him. And
Just a quick
no.
signature.
I don't think it's that much, but I have a feeling that he's 53 years old now, Robert Downey Jr., so maybe he's probably done with this action. Or
I mean,
at least
how many
this part of his
millions on
career.
that thing? Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll take
Stunt
that.
doubles,
I'll
sure,
come back.
whatever. And also 53, he's in Hollywood, come on,
Yeah.
he's going to live forever.
But if they want to just let Iron Man go off on his way, they can bring him back for cameos and certain things and just de-age the crap out of him. Like, we've seen them de-age him before.
Samuel
They
L.
can just
Jackson.
do it
Yeah.
again.
And Captain
After-
Marvel, Samuel L. Jackson.
So many years and evolutions from this process of how they de-age everyone. I would love it if the final product really is just a young Tony Stark and they keep him in films in the future for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
He never ages.
Nope.
So how do we think? Okay, let's get
Hold
past the
this
idea.
for me, Groot.
Sorry, Groot.
It's okay.
Okay, so we've come to the tough reality that he's gonna die. But
Right.
how do we think it's gonna happen in Endgame?
I think we all believe that he's going to sacrifice himself, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's definitely going to sacrifice
I
himself.
think what we've seen in the trailer, we see him floating off in space. That's definitely not how he goes. I think that he gets saved, and I think that we've seen some leaks, photos on the internet of maybe Pepper Potts coming to save him. So I think that that's not the way he goes. Maybe that's how it kind of starts off, and they find him. Obviously, he was left on Titan before that, and then it's going to be the eventual teaming up with the original Avengers in order to then beat Thanos and kind of reverse that snap.
Yeah, him alone in that Sandra Bullock gravity shot.
Gravity.
That's a red herring. I hope that's just the first 5 minutes.
He's
and
going
then
to
out of
record his
there.
goodbye to Pepper, but then someone's
Yeah.
just going to come in and save him. Who
Knock
could it
on
be?
the door. Yeah, somebody. It can be anybody.
Captain Marvel.
Ant-Man. Who knows what part of the movie this takes place in.
Right.
Yeah.
But he needs to go out. Basically, what I'm getting down to is he needs to go out in epic fashion, right?
Yes.
It needs to be it's going to be a sacrifice of his own life or possibly some other people that he loves. But then, to really hit us emotionally, it's going to be I think it's going to just go, it's something that we've never seen before in an MCU movie.
I keep looking back at the first Avengers film and when he goes off into space.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
was
they're
heavy.
gonna come back to that.
Right.
And we already know they're on that set. They went back. There's gonna be a flashback or something to do with time travel or barf at some point in the movie from Avengers. So
Greg, what's barf again?
Yeah, what's Barf?
Binarily augmented retroframing, or BARF. God, I gotta work on that acronym.
I just keep thinking he's not gonna float back down to space this time. What if the whole
Earth.
I just keep thinking that he's not gonna come back down to Earth this time. Hulk's not gonna catch him, or he just that hole closes, and then that's it. And then the timeline changes from there on out.
So maybe he doesn't die, but he's maybe banished to another alternate timeline or universe. Ooh. Good Lord, Greg.
Change everything.
Look at you
Oh,
opened.
no. Oh, no. He's lost.
So he's
Oh,
lost
no.
forever until he
No,
pops up,
no.
10 years down the road in
No.
another MCU film.
De-aged and all.
I also want to shout out one other Reddit user, SFMarch07, who had a fun little, actually it's a dark little theory about Tony was going to, basically the whole concept of Endgame is to get the 6 stones using time loops and time travel, and then having to go back and, in order to get the Soul Stone, you need to make a sacrifice, and he'd have to go back and kill his parents. I'm so sorry for bringing this up.
I
Oh my
really think
God.
the writers are going to change that to, by the way, you don't have to just sacrifice someone else. You can sacrifice yourself. I feel like everyone sees that coming, though.
But didn't we learn on Volmir? It's Volmir, right?
Yes.
Didn't
Yes.
we learn?
Volmir.
Didn't we learn that you have to sacrifice someone you love?
Something you love.
Something you love.
He does
He
love
loves
himself.
himself.
He
Hey.
does love himself.
That's a great point.
Who loves Tony more than Tony?
That's a really good point.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, another bit of evidence is obviously the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, where we didn't get anything
Where's Tony?
about Tony Stark.
Where is Tony?
He's been such a big part of Spider-Man's reemergence in the MCU. He introduced him into Civil War, but now there's no Tony Stark.
Yeah, that strikes me as something we should be alarmed about. That now Nick Fury's on the scene, kind of mentoring him. Like, what's going
And
on
Happy.
there? And Happy's there. and there's a check signed by Pepper Potts.
Not Tony, yeah.
Not Tony. Yeah, there's clues there that Tony's just
know.
not in the picture.
Or is it just crazy misdirection just to get us not thinking about...
Kevin Feige would be furious if Tony showed up in the trailer. Can you imagine if they had something
be
about
really
Tony?
That would be really bad.
So that might be one reason he's not in there. It's just
But why is Nick Fury there then? Like, why is Nick Fury
Could you see him really
even
taking over that role as a
involved?
mentor to Peter Parker?
hey, this is Shield, a Shield mission here. So
Could be.
that
Or Tony talks in his dying last words to Fury and asks him to look after Peter for him. And then Fury doesn't want to do that, but he feels obligated because it was one of
kinda
Tony's
owes him
last
one.
dying
Yeah.
wishes. Yeah.
And then Hogan's just around to try to hook up with Aunt May.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
And is
he's
that-
he's
how's
hot
that-
for Marissa Tomei.
And how's that going to work out? Do you guys think? Predictions.
It could happen.
I predict cheesy jokes. I predict some cheesy one-liners for the film. That's what I think.
Maybe he's a really good chef. I don't know.
Didn't he do a movie? Didn't he do
Yes,
a movie
called Chef.
Yes, he did.
I don't know. Happy seems like a nice dude, man.
He's nice.
He's charming.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think it's going to work out. Sorry, Happy.
Quick, name your favorite moment from Happy Hogan.
I don't know.
There you go.
Didn't Black Widow like take him down in the ring when they were
Pretty easily.
practicing? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very easily.
That was fun.
Yeah. He can't even defend. Yeah, he can't even.
Hey, he might have his own Iron Man suit for all we know. He
Oh.
could get his own suit, a Happy suit. Why haven't they done that yet?
Happy suit. What's a happy suit look like?
Now, perhaps my favorite sub theory out of this whole thing is from Captain Spacewolf 13. Awesome name. And they say that Tony might become the next Jarvis, living on forever in the MCU, specifically in Peter Parker's ear.
Oh, I love this.
Robert Downey Jr. loves that too.
Easy money.
Yes,
Yeah,
he gets to record his
money.
VO. He gets to cash those checks
Money.
still.
From his house, he
could
can
be
just do it
anywhere.
in his garage.
And he's still involved in the MCU. Obviously, symbolically, we get to hear him, but he doesn't have, that much of an impact in terms of the physicality of the job.
This is brilliant and it's extremely plausible, and I think that they should just do it. If you
Yeah.
weren't thinking of doing it already, do it. Just make it happen because this is awesome.
Do it, Marvel.
It's a great way for him to keep mentoring and just be there for Peter forever and for Robert Downey Jr. to keep working.
You would think that Tony Stark, having all the immense money and technology, all the power that he has and technology he's created, would create something to let him live on forever. To digitize himself, to get really Black Mirror with it, but to so that other people could use his powers and his breadth of knowledge later on.
Yeah, and Tony's just vain enough to turn himself into a computer
Yes.
program.
That's a very good point.
It's a very Tony thing to do.
Oh, I love this theory, honestly. This is my favorite part of this whole thing, is that I really feel like Jarvis, of all things here, even if it's not Spidey, if they do another version of Iron Man, if they happen to have a sequel with someone else, his voice could still be in Jarvis there, too.
Yeah.
They could still have it going on that way. I love it.
Guys, Robert Downey Jr. can literally record his VO and just go back to the beach in the Bahamas and cash those checks.
On his private island.
Private island.
Yeah.
Buy an island, just record VO, send it over the internet, boom.
Money, money, money. Money.
Use it.
VO that only.
Now, Greg, you had a great idea of how Far From Home could tie back into how the
Yes.
first Iron Man ended.
Yes, just have Peter Parker reveal his secret identity to the world at the end of Far From Home.
I
Just like
am
Stark did.
Spider-Man.
Yes, we're just like Stark did. He's doing another press conference and goes, you know what? I am Spider-Man. Pulls off his mask like Civil War, the original, not Civil War II, the first line. Just do that all over again, and it kicks off whatever happens next with Spider-Man for that final film that's in contract with MCU and Sony. That would be a good idea.
I love it.
Yeah. I am Spider-Man. Cut to Flash's reaction.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect.
He's no Spider-Man.
What is it with you and Spider-Man?
What, he looks out for the neighborhood, has a dope suit, and I really respect him. Sup, dickwad?
Now, keep in mind, anything could change at any moment. James Gunn. So, with that mind, just keep that in mind there. That at any moment,
What, the
Sony
rehiring
could just
of James
say,
Gunn?
No, as in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 may never happen. So you never know what's going to happen in the future for the MCU.
But
it could
Tom
change
Holland's
at any
the perfect
moment.
Spider-Man. They can't get rid of him.
Tom Holland's perfect for the MCU in so many ways because
He's
of his
Spider-Man
age.
for life. He's Spider-Man for life.
He's,
Sorry.
They cast, of all people who could leave the show,
Leave the MCU.
of all people who could leave the MCU, he's really low on that list. Even though the contract's up after the third Homecoming film or whatever that is, I feel like they're gonna re-up that thing any second now.
So here's the thing. Everyone was acting super normal in the Far From Home trailer. Like, there weren't half of the people missing. Everyone seemed like was living their daily life. Unless it didn't affect Europe, it totally affected Europe. So what is going on?
Yeah, I definitely, it was way too normal than what would happen after a catastrophe of that magnitude. I think that Tony Stark eventually, by defeating Thanos and reversing the snap, it's going to reset the timeline. There's no other...
No one will remember the snap.
No one will remember it. You can't remember that, or else like you can't move forward in this time. It's completely erased, and I think that's why it feels so normal in that Far From Home trailer. Now the question is then Iron Man completely forgotten?
You think so? No.
No.
No way.
I hope they remember you.
No, you guys.
No way.
Nope, not at all.
Not possible.
Iron Man's still
he
around.
was there.
Right.
Like, they
He
knew
was
of
there,
him,
but
and
if
he was
he's the
public.
one, if he's the one that
public.
sacrifices and cancels out the snap and
Yeah.
brings everything back into order, the one way I think this would fit nicely, and I've read rumors of this online, is if Far From Home picks up right where Infinity War began with Peter on the bus going the class trip to MoMA, I believe it was, in New York City.
Yep.
So it's almost like that whole battle of Infinity War to Endgame was erased. Far From Home picks up and he's back on that bus.
Oh man, it's just like the end of Endgame is like the snap is erased.
Yeah.
And then they pick up with the next movie. It's just like they're on the bus, like
Right.
as if everything is normal.
It's going on a field
no
trip,
one was
and then
looking
they're
at
going-
anything. There's
yeah.
nothing in the sky.
Right. And then they're going to Europe after that. And that's why everyone's acting so normal.
Yeah. All right. I believe it. That could work.
I totally buy that. I just keep worrying that what if this movie just takes place like a week? If they try to pull another Ant-Man and Wasp, and it's like it's just a week, a few days before the events of Avengers, Infinity War. I'm that's the only thing I'm worried about here, because if you look at that trailer, you can say like, hey, this could all happen again a couple weeks prior to the events in Thanos' snap.
That
I'm just
would
saying,
be so
it would suck.
jarring to
It would-
watch
yeah, it would be.
after Endgame.
It would.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up. What do you guys ultimately think of this theory? Will Tony Stark die in Endgame?
Yes.
Yes. And do we think that he's going to become the next Jarvis?
Yes.
I think so, and I really hope so.
Yes.
And we're also going to need a lot of tissue.
It's a comic book movie.
Don't judge.
I'm ready.
It's going to be sad. It's going to be sad.
I'm ready to cry.
Guys, let us know any theories and predictions you might have for Avengers Endgame in the comments below. And also, hit us up with any other fan theories you might have for your favorite TV shows and movies. We're going to be hanging out here every week talking about ours. Chastity, you okay?
Yeah, I'm really gonna miss Tony. I'm really gonna.
It's gonna
Oh my god! I'm so
you killed him already!
You guys, it's a movie.
sorry.
It's not a movie to all of us, Greg.
It's real to me.
Did you just kiss?
I kissed his forehead.
That won't bring him back.
I'll never let go. Good night, sweet prince. Good night.
There's your end game.